Good afternoon. This is Soni Irabor here. And I'm awake thinking that the world is at peace. And today we're discussing something very heavy to the heart, but something that is fast becoming an issue that may be inevitable health-wise, that thing called cancer. Wow. Anyway, I'll be back. All right, so see, the thing is, our life is filled with a whole lot of discussions regarding how we should live our life, the kind of lifestyle, and how we should comport ourselves, and when it comes to taking medicine when we are faced with certain medical or health challenges. But the one thing that seems to be overwhelming the world today is cancer. And it behoves on the average journalist, broadcaster, the media person to be conscious of, instead of just all much talk about politics, occasionally we should also draw attention to, what's happening to our health and who is at risk. Is it everyone or is it just one person? Now, there's a committee encouraging corporate philanthropy, yes, encouraging corporate philanthropy. And that committee, I happen to have been there when I met the likes of Mrs. Adeleke, Dr. Christopher Kolade, Mr. Felix Ohiwere, some of the powerful names who are, in their twilight years, still looking good and strong. But there were much younger people there. And then there were two very fascinating individuals, a man and a woman, both medical doctors. And I decided to talk to them and say, can you be my guests on Soni Irabor Live on Inspiration Radio? Because it looks like this is not something we should just talk here and let go. Let's let the world know what's happening. So I have Dr. Abia Nzelu, that's Dr. I believe Mrs. Abia Nzelu. She's here with us. And then Dr. Ngweun was also here. And they're going to talk to us about this whole thing about creating awareness for the consciousness and the fight and concerted effort against cancer. Well, Dr. Nzelu, Kadu. Okay. And Dr. Ngweun, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. So I'm looking at the way things unfolded that day. Committee encouraging corporate philanthropy. Now, let's unravel that a bit. Go on.
Okay. The committee encouraging corporate philanthropy is an initiative that is co-promoted by 6 of the core bodies of the organized private sector, namely the Institute of Directors, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, Nigeria Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, and then you have the Nigerian Institute of Management and the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And it's a platform that for the private sector to come together to tackle major societal needs, to contribute towards societal development. And that's what the committee is about. And for the modus operandi is that they look at the society and look at the person. We know we have a lot of challenges in the society. So we take one major one and unite Nigerians, mobilize Nigeria around it, and so that we can solve it to a logical conclusion.
Okay.
And for the first cause, cancer was taken. And I must say that today is a very good day for us to, today is Mother's Day. We have to celebrate our mothers.
Yes.
We really need to talk about this because it's one of the things that have been taking our beloved mothers from us unnecessarily. And it's something that we really need to do something about. The commonest cancers are cancers that affect the reproductive organs in women. And the breast cancer, the cervical cancer, the cervix is the door to life. And then we find that door to life is the door to death for many of our women. which is not acceptable. So it's really a good day for us to create awareness about this.
You talked about some cancers that women suffer from. Can you reiterate the number of them?
Yeah, cancer can occur in any part of the body, whether you're a man or a woman. But the commonest cancer in women include breast cancer is the commonest. It kills 30 Nigerian women every day. And then
30 Nigerian women every day.
Yeah. And then cervical cancer kills 26 Nigerian women every day. So it's like one every hour. So that's slightly over one every hour. And this is underestimation, because we find that there are many people that die in the rural areas that they don't even know what killed them. So this is just based on hospital records. And we know that many people die outside the hospital. So, and then we have other cancers too, like the ovarian cancer, which occurs in where the egg is stored in the woman. That's where they call the ovary. When the woman ovulates, egg comes from the ovary every month.
Yes.
So that ovary cancer can also occur there, and then it kills 4 Nigerian women every day, and it has killed a number of prominent women in Nigeria, including a first lady. And then you now have other ones that can occur in both men and women: liver cancer, colon cancer, and other cancers too, every other part of the body. But these are the common ones.
Dr. King, you haven't had time to talk yet, but this whole idea, I just wonder, what efforts do you guys make to try to create awareness in this instance before you even involve the media?
The important thing is to go to the people themselves. So the emphasis for us, using the platform of the NCPP, National Cancer Prevention Program, which is a non-governmental effort that was started in 2007. The crux of the campaign is to go to the people where they are, and this means going to them in their churches, in their mosques, in the marketplaces, in schools, to catch them young in schools. We have a major school campaign, and anywhere people are really is a better place to get them. First, where they normally would go, and then the media then is also as equally important. And so going to the people where they are has been a major thrust of the campaign, going to them to create awareness, in many cases to provide free screening in very many states of the country. That has been done, but it's not enough. And it's because it's not enough that the Committee Encouraging Corporate Philanthropy is trying to encourage a scale-up through this present campaign for mobile cancer centers.
Okay, mobile cancer centers. Can you explain that better, please?
Well, mobile cancer centers are clinic on wheels where you can have screening for the common cancers. Dr. Abia has already mentioned the ones in women, but there are also cancers in men, and the common cancers in men that are peculiar to men are cancers of the prostate and cancer of the testis, and then you have cancer that are common to both genders. And when talking about taking the matter up from mothers, whoever in the family has cancer, the mother suffers. If it's the mother herself, she suffers personally. If it's the father, she suffers as a caregiver. If it's a child, she suffers emotionally, and she also suffers, the deprivation that comes from the waste of resources for cancer treatment. So all these cancers are equally important. That is the focus of the Mobile Cancer Center, to take the prevention of these common cancers to the very grassroots. So the Mobile Cancer Center will provide, screening for cancer of the breast, mammography, cancer of the cervix, cancer of the prostate, cancer of the colon, which is another very common cancer, kills 1 Nigerian every hour, cancer of the colon, and then the other illnesses that are risk factors for cancer. Unknown to people, some of the common illnesses that we have are risk factors for cancer. To prevent cancer.
Do you want to name those common illnesses?
Exactly. A very good example is hepatitis, which is a very deadly illness and is a common risk factor for liver cancer. Another one is HIV/AIDS. HIV/AIDS is a risk factor for cancer of the cervix, cancer of the testis, and some cancers of the skin. And the very common diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is a risk factor for cancer of the pancreas, cancer of the prostate in men, cancer of the colon, just diabetes is a risk factor for that. As innocuous as it sounds, hypertension is a major risk factor for uterine cancer. Now, the uterus is the womb, the very womb, the thing that makes women mothers, the mothers we are celebrating today. So cancer of the womb, a major risk factor for it is hypertension in women. And then malaria, as common as malaria is, recurrent malaria infection is a major risk factor for the commonest cancer in children, which is a cancer that causes jaw swelling. The technical name is Burkitt's lymphoma, but it causes jaw swelling and is a very common cancer in children. Good thing about it is when it's detected early, it can be treated and the child can be completely cured and live his normal life. But the matter is if it's detected early. And that's why these mobile centers are important, because in detecting the cancers early, they enable people to survive. The reason being that in those mobile centers, you also have theaters incorporated in them where you can treat the common cases. And this mobile, system of detecting and treating cancer is something that has been tried all over the world, and it has found to work fantastically. And we are not reinventing the wheel. We are just taking what has succeeded elsewhere and trying to domesticate it in Nigeria. And there's no way we can do it without the support of everyone listening to us. And that's where, why this awareness program, particularly on Mother's Day, is very appropriate.
How does one even begin to suspect there's the likelihood of having cancer, Dr. Nzelu?
Yeah, cancer, the thing about cancer is that in most cases, it is silent in the early stages. So if we have to wait until we start feeling the symptoms and all that, we may end up being picked up late. So that is why the best approach is to be screened.
Be screened. So
yes,
you can just walk into a screening center and get screened.
To get screened, and different cancers have different recommendations.
But the thing is that these things cost money.
Exactly. That's why we need to have this mobile system of screening, because if with that, people that otherwise will not be able to afford these screenings will have it done to them free of charge. So that's why we need these mobile cancer centers.
Excuse me.
So you don't have a symptom in the early stages, but later on you may have some symptoms. Which
can you give some kind of give one cancer example, a symptom of a cancer example?
I can talk of general symptoms, so that people. So there's a number of symptoms that you can generalize the symptoms, so everybody will know if they went to suspect that there's problem. Now, one of these things you should that you will see and suspect cancer is swelling. If you notice any swelling in any part of your body that is there and is persistent, you should be worried about it. If you notice that you have blood coming out of any part of your body, whether it is in nose, whether it is in the vagina, because when it is in the vagina, you're not suspecting cervical and or any cancer that is related to the woman's reproductive system. And then, so if you notice bleeding from any part of your body, or maybe it's the blood in the urine, you should be worried and you should go for a check. And because blood in the urine may be bladder cancer, for instance, or it may be sign of prostate cancer. And then if you notice that you're always tired.
Yes.
If you notice that you're always tired for unexplained reasons, then you should be worried. You should go for a check. And then if you notice that you're losing weight, when you're losing weight, you're not dieting, you're not doing anything unusual, and then you notice that you're losing weight, then you should be worried. You should go for a check. And if you notice that you're having pain in a place that is persistent pain, any part of your body, you should be worried. You notice that you have maybe something that appears like a sore and is not going, it's unexplained, you should be worried and you should go for a check. Those are some of the symptoms. Most of these things we're talking about are things that may occur in the late stages. And then loss of function. Maybe you notice
What do you mean by a loss of function?
I'll give some examples. For instance, one of our prominent archbishops died of throat cancer. And what the initial warning symptoms I had, which he didn't know was related to cancer, was that he just lost his voice. At a point, and then after some time he regained the voice. After many years again, it occurred again. just suddenly lost his voice, recovered spontaneously again. Then later on, after some years again, it occurred, and this time it was persistent. He now started going for.
And all these years, he didn't even do tests.
No, because it just went like that. That's why we say you don't even wait to get symptoms, because these things, the chances of survival increases with early detection. So if you do your screening and you pick it up in those very early stages, then you are likely to survive. And sometimes you may even pick the pre-cancer stage. For instance, cervical cancer has a pre-cancer stage which you can pick up if you do your screening every year. You pick it up and it will be treated. The treatment for cervical cancer and the early changes is just 15 minutes, and that's all you need. You don't need to spend millions. But
what about people who are living in denial? But before you answer that question, it's time for our break, and I'm just going to ask you to just pause a bit. Heal the world according to Michael Jackson. Heal the world.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel. There are dreams, we stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. Make a better world, make a better world. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for living, make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we were conceived and will reveal a joyful face. And the world we once believed in will shine again in grace. Then why do we keep strangling when this earth crucify its soul? Though it's plain to see this world is heavenly. Be God's love. We could fly so high, let our spirits never die. In my heart, I feel you are all my brothers. Create a world with no fear. Together we'll cry happy tears. See the nations turn their swords into plowshares. We could really get there if you cared enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.
Michael Jackson. And he had to go. He had to go. He was already exposed to some kind of skin disease, it was. And then, of course, he was also battling with serious insomnia and drug abuse. Not drug abuse in terms of taking cocaine, but something to just calm his very hyperactive and super creative nerves. But anyway, the rising stars, they just come like meteors and boom, they go, they make impact and they go. Heal the world. Very apt for this occasion. We need to heal the world. And I have healers of conscience here. You have Dr. Abia Nzelu and Dr. Ngweun. And we've been discussing the various types of cancer and how to dictate them and the kind of things we must be doing. Denial was the one I was talking about. Denial. People are afraid to go and test because they want to. How do you handle that?
Well, this is a very good question because this year's World Cancer Day, because every year the Union for International Cancer Control has a theme for each World Cancer Day. This year's World Cancer Day was marked on February 4, 2014, and then one of the things that were addressed was that the fact that people deny, they say you don't need to talk about cancer. But really, that is not true. Cancer actually thrives on denial, on silence. When we are silent, people will be dying silently from cancer. We really need to talk out, to shout. The person that is affected by cancer needs to shout. He needs to go for help, go to the hospital and let the doctors check him, investigate and determine what they have and treat them.
There's a very serious issue here. It's some people say catch-22. You find yourself trapped in the middle of impossibilities. Somebody who cannot afford to just go even to treat himself. Do you think he can afford to go and investigate or find out or look for diagnosis? Dr. King?
Yes, that's why one of the ways to solve the problem of denial is to improve survivorship. One of the things that made the HIV to be less stigmatized was when it became obvious that people could live positively and survive and live normal lives. And if increasingly, and what happened was that there was enough advocacy to now make the stakeholders to make the treatment not only available but also affordable. So we had international organizations realizing that if you improve survival, you will be able to cut away part of the denial. Because why people deny is that they say, if I tell people that I have cancer, they will say, oh, I am a dying person. They will take you as a dying person.
So that means the time is numbered, the days are numbered.
If you are a dying person, then you are no longer a serious stakeholder in the family, you are no longer a serious stakeholder in your profession, you are no longer a serious stakeholder in society, and nobody wants to be taken as someone that is no longer a serious person to consider. And so that's part of why people deny. And so if we, by advocacy, improve access to screening, and screening doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, screening in many parts of the world is entirely free. What happens is that there's what we call the Robin Hood method, which is widely applied, particularly, for example, in India. The corporate organizations, the people of high net worth do their screening for a fee, and that fee provides the capital that is needed to screen the ordinary people entirely free of charge. That's what you call the Robin Hood system. For example, at Tata Center in India, their services is free of charge to 70% of the Indians, but the other 30% pay for what it costs. The 30% includes Nigerians, by the way, because Nigerians are charged at a premium in hospitals abroad since they are not citizens.
Now, you see, this is very shocking to hear, and we're all rushing there.
Yes, and so because of that premium, and because the people who can afford it pay, they are able to then provide sustenance for free services for those who you will call the ordinary man on the street, the person at the grassroots. And there's no reason why that cannot work also in Nigeria. All we need to do is to get our acts together. We talk about mothers who have been who are lost to, for example, breast, cervical cancer, ovarian cancer in Nigeria, which are the 3 commonest cancers that are peculiar to women. But that doesn't have to be like that. And I give an example of a woman whose memorial occurs today, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. She died March 30, 2002. Exactly 12 years today. Now, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, had cancer of the colon when she was 66 years old.
Okay.
And because screening is universally available and free in the UK, she was detected and she was cured of colon cancer. Then at the age of 83, she had cancer of the breast. And that cancer of the breast was again cured. You know, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, was born in 1900. She died at 2002. That means she was
102.
about 102 years old. And if it was a Nigerian mother,
And she was a 2-time cancer survivor.
no, so you see, because it's no longer a death sentence, because you can hold up the example of that kind of woman and say, look at this woman. She had cancer and she survived twice. And then she lived, and you know, today is her memorial. But she lived and she saw her children, she saw her grandchildren,
Children.
she saw her great
Grandchildren.
And that is the hallmark of a beautiful life.
You know, but a cynically minded person will say, after all, that was royalty. They had everything at their disposal. But how can it come to the common man's level?
Okay, let us take the United States.
Okay.
100 years ago in the United States, cancer was a death sentence. Everyone that had it universally knew that there was no hope. And so people who had cancer, the doctors themselves wouldn't let the patients know that it was cancer they had, because it was a hopeless situation and they didn't want to add hopelessness to suffering. And so they would keep it even from the patient. And then even when some of the doctors would tell the patient, they wouldn't tell members of their family. And because of the work of the American Cancer Society, which was a private sector-led initiative that was operating in the social sector, there was now an improvement in things. So 60 years ago, cancer survivorship in the United States became 1 in 3. So 1 out of every 3 persons that had cancer in the United States survived. These were common people. They were not royalty. They were not politicians.
But they had access.
They had access to screening. So that was 60 years ago. Mark you, Nigeria today, according to global figures, we have a cancer survival that is only 1 in 5. So we are worse than what US was 60 years ago.
Cool.
And then today in the United States,
That's so
we have
happy
a
to hear.
survivorship of 2 in 3. 2 out of every 3 cancer patients survive. And American Cancer Society has said that this is going to be the last century for cancer. There's going to be 3 in 3 survival. Now, if you have an illness that already 2 out of every 3 persons that have it survive, you are much more likely to be emboldened to come out and say, see, this is what I have, because your likelihood of survival is much higher than your likelihood of succumbing. But in Nigeria, only 1 out of 5 survives. And that one that survives very often has traveled abroad. Now, if you have that kind of illness, you are dealing with something that is virtually a death sentence. And so you want to keep it to yourself. And in keeping it to yourself, you make the situation worse because you don't get help early. And that is really the crux of what we are talking about. That if we have these mobile centers around and available and increasing survivorship, we are going to reduce the stigma and people are much more likely to come out.
But before I open the floodgate for numbers, I just want to ask you, is it possible that this
CECP?
the checking center, what do you call it?
Mobile cancer centers?
Mobile cancer centers at MCC?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it affordable? Can anybody get it? You're trying to get one. How do you think that can be achieved?
Yeah, one mobile cancer center will cost 95 million naira.
Say them again.
One mobile cancer center costs 95 million naira.
95
million naira. That is something that we can easily achieve using the platforms that have been established.
Okay.
For instance, the Nigeria Communication Commission got all the networks together and established a common short code 44777.
Let's get that again. 44777. 44777. Okay.
Now, if you
what do you do with 44777?
If you send the word save as an SMS, you write save as an SMS, then send it to 44777. You contribute 100 naira.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, start doing that right now. 44777. Just type save in the message corner and then send it to 44777. Save 44777. Try and do that. Maybe you'll be able to get a cancer screening center.
If we have 1 million of these SMSs, that will give us one mobile cancer center. So in Lagos, we have 20 million people. So if 1 out of every 20 people in Lagos will send this SMS, we can have this mobile cancer center going around Lagos and screening people free of charge. So
free of charge.
Something that we can achieve. if
But
we all put our hands together.
How do you know when you get it? When you get the enough to acquire the
Exactly.
vehicle?
The good thing about this is that it's you have a platform where you can monitor the giving. So, for instance, if you send an SMS right now, you will get a message, you get a feedback, and then it will reflect on the platform. So, if we log on to the platform now, we'll see the number of SMSs that have been sent. Already, we have about 14,000 something SMSs. So.
That is a far cry from the 1 million we're talking about.
And this is something, and given the number of people in Lagos that are using GSM, it is something that we can.
Okay, I'm challenging you now. If you're listening to Inspiration Radio, Inspiration 92.3 FM, yeah, and then you want to be a partaker, a contributor to the future of making sure that cancer is eradicated from the Nigerian society, dial, all right, save, SAVE, to 44777. Start doing that now. Let's see how many we can achieve before this program ends. And I'm going to start taking calls very shortly. And for those of you who are using Twitter, I say again, is at IFM923 and at Irabor Soni. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
You actually have a very wonderful program today.
Thank you, sir.
Now, it's very good to have a cancer screening center.
Okay.
But we need to also look at the treatment of those people. Now, when someone comes to the center and you tell the person you have cancer, what next after that?
Exactly. That's
Very
why
good
the
question.
good thing about this mobile cancer center, it's not just for screening. You have facilities for screening and also have facilities for treatment of the early
In the
cases.
center itself,
safe
in that mobile center.
In the mobile center. So as you screened, you have found to have a problem, you will be taken care of on the spot. That is the beauty of this mobile cancer center.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, lady. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's your name?
I would like to ask a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Recently, I've been having this swollen on my chest, close to my chest wall, but I don't know what it is. Sometimes when I go to the hospital, they tell me it's nothing to worry about. You just drop something in it and it will go. But for some time, it hasn't gone. Sometimes I'll feel like it has gone, but it's still there. And I've been experiencing this for, I think, since late last year till now. And sometimes when I got it very hard, there's this small spot that comes out of it. I don't know. I'm really confused. I don't know if I should be worried.
It's because of people like that we have counseling. We have opportunities for counseling because it is difficult to tell by just listening to you what kind of thing it would be. So we have volunteer doctors from CECP who provide counseling every Saturday, and it takes place at the National Cancer Prevention Program Office, number 30 Shaga Road, not far from Ruth. So if you are worried, if it's something that worries you enough to indicate that it's not a swelling that is going away and it's worrying you, you may want to avail yourself of direct counseling, and it takes place every Saturday at 1 p.m. at the NCCP office, number 30 Shaga Road.
Okay, hello. Hello.
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Name and place of call.
My name is Doge. I'm calling from Soler.
Okay.
Yeah, please, I would like to ask a question. I have a sister I know that was diagnosed with cancer of the womb just 2-3 weeks ago. And she's going through the radiation stage. And I saw her yesterday. I don't know if it's really improving because she has swollen legs. Her hands are swollen up and she's going through serious pain. So I don't know. My question is, how long will she have to go through that? Because she was told to go for the radiation for 6 weeks. And we don't know how long she will go for that pain in order for those pains to reduce. Because she's really going through pain.
Well, that is why we are advocating for us to have these mobile cancer centers so that people will get picked up very early at a stage where they won't have to go through such pain. But I'm sure the doctors would have told you the duration of the treatment. and the length of time that you go through the treatment. So what you need to do is to follow the advice of the doctors. But for those that are still, when you don't have that kind of pain now, people will think that, oh, there's no problem. But when you do your screening, you are likely to pick cancer up at that stage where you feel that there's nothing, you don't feel any symptom, and that's the best time to pick up cancer. So as you pick it up at that stage, then you can treat it easily. So that's why we are advocating that we should all join us together. Let's have these mobile cancer centers that go around to screen people. Like Dr. Kim mentioned, cancer of the womb is one of the cancers that hypertension can predispose somebody to. So, and all these things are things that we'll take care of with the mobile cancer centers. So we should all join us together, and let's see that we have this mobile cancer center going around the whole country.
Also, as an additional point for our listeners to note, and uterine cancer or endometrial cancer is one of the cancers that are easy to treat at the early stage. Most people that have it will survive if they are detected early. And one of the early symptoms is when you have postmenopausal bleeding. That means your period has stopped, and then suddenly you start seeing drops of blood again when you are no longer menstruating, when you are no longer seeing your time as a woman. So when you have that and you go at an early time, I know at the program we had that Mr. Soni Irabor was referring to a short while ago, the press conference, there was actually a major publisher who was there and who had an experience of early detection of the pre-cancer uterine what we call uterine hyperplasia, which will lead to uterine cancer if it is not detected on time. But she was a very lucky woman, because once she picked up that post menopausal bleeding, she was able to go and get herself checked. So for everyone that is listening to us, please, if you have reached menopause and you start having any bleeding signs that are not your periods, then you should be worried. And that step of going to find out might just save you from having the kind of situation that the last caller described, where the woman is already having swollen feet and all that. When you have all those kind of swollen feet and all that, it shows that the detection was done at a very late stage. And unfortunately, at those stages, there's not very much that modern medicine can do to avail. But it is not that it's hopeless. What we just want to say is that detecting it at an earlier stage would help many, many more women.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Uncle Soni.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, nice program, sir. So I want to contribute that whatever measures is being taken about cancer treatment and prevention should be serious awareness. Don't know the importance
to be still what?
For screening. They don't even believe it. Some people doubt it. Some people don't even see it.
Okay.
And I feel because there's no awareness. We don't have enough awareness.
Okay, that's why we're doing this kind of program. Yes, you're right about that.
I really like the topic and the angle you're taking it from, because this thing is really everywhere. The ones we talk about is the ones we know. Locally, in very local communities, a lot of women die of cancer.
Exactly. That's why we're talking about this mobile cancer center, because it also brings awareness to the rural areas, because many people in the rural areas will not have access to radio program, they will not be able to access television, they will not be able to get access to the newspaper and the magazines. But if we get to them with the mobile units, we can educate them directly, and then we can screen them and then treat them on the spot.
Here's somebody saying, good afternoon, Uncle Irabor. My breast has been paining me since 2008. I've done mammogram. They said nothing is wrong. Even breast scan at the Healing Cancer Center. How can I meet Auntie? Oh, actually, is she Vivian? Are you Vivian?
No,
Auntie Abia.
Dr. Abia.
Dr. Abia. Auntie brings her closer.
Well, I've just told you that you can come to the National Cancer Prevention Program office on Saturdays from 1
What's the
p.m.
address?
at number 30 Ishaga Road off Itire Road.
Okay.
It's not far from Ojuelegba
Okay.
by Mabo Junction. That's Luth Road.
Okay.
So if you come there on Saturday from 1 p.m., you will get cancered.
So, what are the causes of cancer and preventive methods like environmental solutions in reduction in pollutants, diets, alternative non-medical measures, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, there are different risk factors for cancer. Your lifestyle can affect your risk for cancer. Your genetic predisposition, family history can affect your risk for cancer, and environmental pollutants. And
When
then
you-
the lifestyle.
Go on.
The lifestyle factors, the most important one is smoking. Smoking can cause various kinds of cancer, not just lung cancer. It can cause cancer of the lungs, the larynx, even breast cancer. It increases the risk. Cervical cancer, prostate cancer, bladder cancer. It predisposes people to a lot of cancer.
So this human body just has all
smoking.
this
the
and
thing
that cancer,
about
this cancer.
Yes,
that.
not every part of the body can have cancer.
Jeez.
And the problem with smoking is that it doesn't just affect the person that is smoking, it also affects those that are around the vicinity of the person. So it means that if you're smoking, you're not just increasing the risk of cancer in yourself, you're also affecting if you have children, your family, anywhere you're smoking, you're affecting the other people. That's what we call secondhand smoking, third-hand smoking, and all that. And then you have your weight. Overweight is a risk factor for many cancers too. Your diet.
Yes.
Diet can affect your risk for cancer, and so people that take too much fat, too much red meat, too much processed food can increase your risk of various cancers.
Nigeria is in trouble then
including
because
colon cancer.
everything is so available
that's part
here,
of the
you know?
reason why you have increasing risk of many of these cancers because our diet is changing. But if you take a lot of fruits and vegetables, you're likely to reduce your risk, and then maybe white chicken and all that. You're reducing your risk of cancer.
Hello?
Somebody is asking. Okay.
Yes.
Hello, Uncle Soni. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, very well. My name is Sobi. I'm calling from Okota.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just contribution. I wouldn't know this program if it is. Hello.
Yes, go on. If it is.
Okay, is it only going to end in Lagos? Or
No. It's nationwide.
Okay, it's nationwide.
It's nationwide, yes.
Okay,
The idea is
good.
to have at least one center in every state to start
Okay,
with.
what I'm saying is the program you're doing now on radio. How else are you doing it, across other states?
Okay, can I quickly answer that? They had a press conference. It was purely for just media people, which is why I got encouraged to have them on this show today. Just a few days ago, I think it was Friday or Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And all the media were there. Media representatives were there. So, and that is one step forward, and I think they're going to go further. Yes.
Okay, that is good. Another thing, please, it is a good initiative, and with the name you call it, corporate philanthropy.
Yes.
I think it is very, very good because we can't keep waiting on the government to do everything for us.
Absolutely.
Everybody to contribute 100 naira. It might be too much, it might not be too much. But from the analysis they have just given, how many people that will contribute that will build one, I think we can get it across the country.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And what I also want to do, as you're going on, please keep saying it.
Okay.
For people to contribute.
But by the way, have you sent your save yet?
I have.
I'm sure he has. He sounds very passionate.
I like that. Thank you so much.
And then,
Yeah.
and then again, is there any limitation? Because for 100 naira, some people can afford to send 10 times.
No, there's no limitation. You can
Bros,
send as many times as
Send
possible.
1 million times so that you alone can just give us
And
that.
then, apart from that, you can also give online or through the ATM using the code 777526. So you can you can give online using that code through the InterSwitch platform. So
online, wherever you are, not only in Nigeria but all over the world, you have. I mean,
So if you go to Quick Teller,
Nigerians in diaspora who want to be part of something good, they can actually go online and through the 777526, they can give online, or if you are at an ATM, you can give through the ATM. So it's very easy. And as for the SMS, there is no limit. And as soon as you send, the counter, there's an online counter that lets you know how many people have sent real time.
Okay, so we're going to take a short break now, and this is one song that I played in my early radio days, and I'm going to say it now, and I'm doing it on behalf of Inspiration 92.3 FM and anybody who owns or uses or operates a radio. This song by the Candles, it's such a beautiful song. It made me move forward in my beautiful professional life. Just at the count of 3, you will get it. Let's go. The Candles.
Longing of the highway, when the long night has no end, when there's no one here beside me, till I hold you once again. Thank God for the radio. When I'm on the road, when I'm far from home, I'm feeling blue. Thank God for the radio. Playing all night long, playing all the songs that mean so much to me and you. There's a song that we first danced to. There's a song that played the night we met. There's a song we fell in love to. That's a song I'll never forget. Thank God for the radio. When I'm on the road, when I'm far from home, I'm feeling blue. Thank God for the radio. Playing all night long, playing all the songs that mean so much to me and you. Thank God for the radio. When I'm on the road, when I'm far from home, I'm feeling blue. Thank God for the radio. Playing all night long, playing all the songs that mean so much to me and you. Playing all the songs that mean
Thank God for the radio.
for the radio.
Yes, sir. By the Candles. And this is one thing that I always say about radio, the power of radio. It reaches you every and anywhere. In the bathroom, radio. You are tying your shoelace, radio. You're driving, radio. You're cooking, radio. You're flying, oh yeah, thank God for the radio. And so, have you sent that number yet? 44777. What you do is type SAVE, save, to 44777. We want to get that cancer screening center. And the grace of God will make it possible. Inspiration Radio is saying, check it out. Help. Help. Because who knows? Could be anybody. May not be you in Jesus' name, but it just could be anybody. Now, let's go back to living in denial. What should people be doing now? They should just jettison the thought of denying?
Yes, we should. Those that have survived, because there are Nigerians that have survived cancer. And like we said, the National Cancer Prevention Program have been carrying out screening, and there are a number of people that otherwise won't have been able to afford to get screened and get treated, have been picked up in the early stages, have been treated. For instance, cervical cancer treatment is just 15 minutes procedure. They have been treated and they've been cured. So those people should talk out. You find that those people will not even want to tell other people, and that will be an encouragement to the people that have survived. Those that have made mistake, maybe they delayed and then eventually they couldn't get access to treatment on time, and eventually they find that they are about dying. They should also tell people the truth, tell them the mistakes they made. There are some people that will go to the hospital
so that others can learn
from them, and then learn to go early and take the advice of doctors. There's some people that will have breast cancer. Maybe it's the early lump, which maybe if they remove it at that stage, sometimes you may not even need to remove the breast if it is picked up very early. Martina Navratilova had breast cancer. She was treated without removing her breast. She's alive. She's free from cancer
she's
right
still
now.
playing tennis.
Yeah. So because it was picked up very early.
In good time.
But we find that our women, we keep it to themselves. So if you notice it early, you go out and you are treated, you are likely to survive it. So if maybe you made the mistake of refusing treatment and then you are not late, you should let people know so that they will learn.
Okay, I'm going to take calls now. Let's play that game again. 30 seconds. Hello. You just speak for 30 seconds. Go straight to the point. How are you? Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Madam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sorry, I don't force you to the 30 seconds scope. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the treatment, madam, please, is not easy. It's down to expensive. I think that is one of the things that is killing some of the cancer patients. For my own case, I want to thank God I was lucky through Inspiration FM. Some kind-hearted Nigerians helped me, and I'm still on it. My brother. We defend it now.
The Lord will see you through it successfully.
The treatment is down to expensive. I don't have the money to fly across. I'm still on it. But I just want God's will to be done in our lives.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
God
the
bless
treatment
you.
is very, very expensive when it is picked up late. But in the early stages, most of the time it will not be as expensive. So like I just told you, cervical cancer can be picked up even before it becomes cancer, and the treatment is just a 15 minutes procedure. You don't need chemotherapy, you don't need radiotherapy, you don't need any surgery. So that's why we need to get picked up early. If you pick these cancers early, the treatment will not be as difficult. And even in the advanced cases, we should be able to get access to treatment. Let's talk about Egypt. In Nigeria, we don't have any comprehensive cancer centers. We don't have access to these treatments. But in Egypt, they have a children's cancer center. That is the largest in the whole world. Egypt sits in
Children's
a country
Cancer
in
Center.
They have National Cancer Institute.
I hope somebody in government, I hope the ministries of health are listening. I hope somebody will feel the pang of conscience to say, hey, what can government do? I'm not saying government is not doing anything, but now they have to prioritize it. You're bringing out an aspect that seems very interesting. Cancer screening centers.
Now, we are not even talking of just cancer. Egypt has a National Cancer Institute. That is a tertiary health institution.
Doesn't Nigeria have one?
We don't have one. In India, they have over
With all these deaths?
In India, they have over 120. We don't have one. In Egypt, they have the National Cancer Institute. They have a pediatric cancer center. That center is just for children cancer. It is the largest in the whole world, and the treatment is absolutely free. The cancer center was built through donations. It was purely from donations by the private individuals that they built that children cancer center, and everybody that comes there is treated free of charge, completely
in actual
free
fact, this is where I'm tempted to just say there was a pink ball event that donated a mammography machine to a hospital, and it was interesting because it was meant for the less privileged. We had to go through some serious, political. When I say political, not in that professional sense. I mean arguments, intrigues, and everything before it could be done properly. But eventually, it was achieved. Hello, 30 seconds. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
30 seconds. How are you? Go ahead.
My name is Anselm. Okay, I just wanted to...
Oh, hi, Anselm. Okonkwo?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes, sir.
Oh, good of you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just want to talk along the line the speaker was just saying that all the foundations we have, all the NGOs, can't they put their resources together, organize themselves as one, and then do a loan that can set up something like the one in Egypt?
Good.
That would
Very
be
good
nice,
point.
a unified one.
Okay.
Instead of everybody doing their own.
It is the responsibility of everybody, not just the NGO and the foundation. We all have to contribute. I just said
No,
that.
but the point he's
I'm
making,
talking
which is
about
good.
that already is what we are
Yeah,
about.
That cooperation is necessary.
On June the 1st, we are going to have...
It should be a unified effort.
Yes.
Exactly.
All of us will contribute.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On June the 1st,
And
By the
have
way-
one that can be a referral center.
Okay. Have you sent your text 4477?
Yes, I will do that right away.
Okay. All right. Good. Yes.
Yeah.
there's such a bringing together of stakeholders planned already, and that's part of the reason why we had that the press parley on Thursday, and it's called National Cancer Week. It will start on June the 1st, the first Sunday of every
We
June.
hope that by that June the 1st, you would have gotten at least one.
Yes, we hope so. And all of you listening to us can make it possible today. I mean, if everybody that is listening to Inspiration FM were to take their phone and ask their friends to take their phone and their neighbors, I have no doubt that we'll have 1 million SMSs.
It's going to happen. And I promise in Jesus' name. Hello. 30 seconds.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, darling. Have you sent your 44777?
Yes, I have.
Good. So
Yes,
good.
I just want to ask, how do we prevent bureaucracy from coming into this?
How do you prevent
How are we going to prevent bureaucracy?
bureaucracy?
Yes,
Good
into
question.
this. And, with all these politics you mentioned earlier on, what happened the last time, how are we going to prevent it? Because
Thank
it's not just getting the 95 million.
Yeah, thank you. Good question.
That's-
Next,
that's
30
what-
seconds. Hello. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, 30 seconds. Go straight to the
Good
point.
afternoon, Uncle.
I'm overrunning. Yes, go ahead. How are you?
All right. Please, I don't know. I'm so passionate about this. I'm listening to these people in some other media, and it's just amazing. But it's so appalling that, since the campaign started, we're like 14,000. I've done it. See, I'm visually impaired. I don't have all of it in the whole world. I've tried to. But what I want to suggest is this. Beyond this media and all of this, places like churches and all this, have they been able to go to these places? Because this
Very
is very
good
important.
point.
I once
Thank
lost
you.
a colleague when I was working. He went everywhere, and at the end of the day, it was discovered that it was cervical cancer, and it's already late, and she died. I have done my own bit, and I am begging Nigerians, this is a worthy cause.
God
Let
bless
us
you.
do this and get these things right for once.
Thank
God
you.
bless you, sir.
God bless you. And everybody seems to have concluded. And I want to thank you. But Dr. Nzelu and Dr. Ngweun, can you give me one-liner message?
Yes, about the bureaucracy, that's why this is a private sector driven initiative, so the bureaucracy will not be there.
Amen.
And then we expect everybody to join us together, and let us give our widow's mite, and then tell people about telling the churches, you are there, you can be a volunteer. We cannot go to all the churches in Nigeria, but as a volunteer, you can tell your pastor, and then we announce it, and then people every Sunday they can say, okay, everybody bring out your phone and send even once. If we do that every Sunday, we'll go a long way. So you can be a volunteer that will go out and send the message to your churches, to your mosque, to your every meeting place, whether club, wherever you meet, you tell people about it, and then prepare to come for the June program.
Okay.
I really like what the last speaker talked about, involving the faith communities.
Yes.
And that's why the National Cancer Week is starting on the 1st of June with the churches.
Okay.
What we are asking the churches to do is to pray, to take special collections, to publicize the 44777. And then we believe that by so doing, and then the Muslims will do their own on Friday. We believe that every Nigerian getting involved will make this much, much more affordable. So June 1 to 8th, we are all together to make it happen.
Okay, and so that's how we're concluding this program today with this song by Herbie Hancock that says, "Don't give up." And anyone who thinks he's threatened or has a fear for the possibility of having cancer, I pray that you don't get it. But please start right now by sending SAVE, save, to 44777. Did you hear me? SAVE, that's the message, to 44777. So don't give up. Herbie Hancock concluding this part of Soni Irabor Live today. And I want to thank you again. Do not forget, the GETTV is every Tuesday 8 p.m. and every Sunday 1 p.m. on Startime. And sooner than later, we'll be seeing more of you. Inspiration Radio is always there for you. Feel free, write. And Rufai is going to continue this message. Save to 44777. Arrivederci. Udaro. Bye-bye. Okay, well.